decided to spend the night in a haunted dollhouse, and what happened next was nothing short of terrifying. I had heard all the rumors about this place, the whispers of strange occurrences, dolls moving on their own, shadows in the night, but I didn't believe in ghosts. Still, there was something oddly intriguing about the idea of spending one night in this creepy dollhouse. Maybe it was the challenge or just curiosity. But as soon as I walked through the door, I felt the weight of my decision. The air inside was thick, almost suffocating, and there was a heavy, stale scent, like the house had been abandoned for years. Every corner of the room was filled with dolls, hundreds of them. Some were small and delicate, others large and imposing. All of them had these wide, glassy eyes that seemed to follow me wherever I went. It felt like I had entered another world, one where time stood still and something sinister lingered in the air. I set up my camera gear, determined to capture anything supernatural. My hands were already trembling, but I had to stay composed. After all, this was just a dollhouse, right? Suddenly, I heard a faint whisper coming from the far corner of the room. I froze, every hair on my body standing on end. I spun around, but there was nothing, just rows of dolls, each sitting motionless in their place. My pulse quickened. Had I imagined it? The rational part of my mind said yes, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. The temperature in the room dropped sharply. I grabbed my thermal camera to check the readings, and to my disbelief, the temperature had plummeted by several degrees. I felt a cold, invisible hand brush past me, sending chills down my spine. It was like the house itself was watching me, waiting for something. Then, I saw it. One of the dolls, an old porcelain one with faded blue eyes, had moved. Its head had turned ever so slightly, now facing directly toward me. My stomach twisted in knots. I couldn't look away. The doll's lifeless stare was boring into my soul, as if it knew something I didn't. I blinked, and in that brief moment, I could swear the doll had shifted again. The night dragged on, with each minute becoming more unbearable than the last. I tried to convince myself that the cold, the whispers, the moving dolls, they were just tricks of the mind. But then the sound started. At first, it was soft, creaks, like someone was walking upstairs. Then faint, distant laughter, childlike, but distorted, as if it was coming from another world. I shined my flashlight toward the source, but there was nothing, just shadows playing tricks in the dim light. The laughter grew louder, and with it, a soft melody, a lullaby, barely audible, but unmistakably eerie. I was on edge, every nerve in my body screaming at me to leave. But I stayed. I wanted to see this through, to prove to myself that there was a logical explanation for everything. Hours passed, and finally, I decided it was time to sleep. I laid down on the floor, my flashlight clutched tightly in my hand, and tried to drift off. That's when the nightmare truly began. I was jolted awake by a loud crash. My heart leaped into my throat as I scrambled to sit up, scanning the room frantically, and then I saw it. Every single doll in the room had turned to face me, rows upon rows of soulless eyes, all staring at me in unison. My breath hitched, and my chest tightened with a deep, primal fear. It was as if the entire house had come alive, and I was its prisoner. I stood up, shaking, and tried to gather my things, but the room seemed to stretch and distort around me. Shadows danced along the walls, moving unnaturally fast. The air was filled with that same haunting lullaby, but this time it was louder, clearer. As I reached the door, I heard it again, the whisper. Only now it was right behind me. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. I flung the door open and ran. I ran out of the house, not daring to look back until I was safe in my car. My hands were trembling as I fumbled with the keys, and my heart was pounding so hard, I thought it might burst. As I sped away, I looked in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see something, anything following me. But there was nothing, When I finally calmed down, I began to piece together what had happened. I had stayed in a house that wasn't just haunted, it was cursed. And those dolls, they weren't just toys. They were vessels, trapped souls, watching, waiting for me. If you enjoyed this spine-chilling adventure, hit the like button, leave a comment with your own haunted experiences, and don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying tales like this one. Who knows? Maybe next time, I'll take you inside an even scarier haunted location. Thanks for watching.